if you don't embrace this stuff, you ain't black. If you listen to this other music, or you do this other, like, that ain't black. This is black, right? And so,
but we're being sold our image from people who ain't even black.
Exactly.
But what are some of the first steps to maybe dispelling the myth of the image?
We need people like Deion Sanders to speak against it and not invite it. Right? We need the top people that have voices that are on TV, that are in the entertainment industry, to speak out against it. Because it is a detriment to the Black community. And it's not representative of Black people as a whole in this country.
Yeah.
Right? And so when we look at the murders that are happening, when we just look at, just everything that is going on in these like inner city Black communities, we can't at the same time, speak out against some of those things and then invite and promote the very thing that perpetuates those things. Right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I'm saying is we have to speak out against it. We have to distance ourselves from it. We have to stop buying the music for our kids. We have to stop letting them dress like these rappers and let them influence our kids. Because that's where, if we want to see change, that is where change has to happen. Because as long as that cycle, that cultural influence is still going, and the music and the culture is what is influencing our youth and our kids, generation after generation, we're going to keep getting 70%, of kids born out of wedlock. We're going to keep getting high abortion rates. We're going to keep getting, just low marriage rates, because those aren't the things that are promoted within the broader culture, or what's influencing the broader culture. Right?
Yeah, the image doesn't promote the things that would be helpful to the culture.
Yes.
But so many people are flocking to the image.
Yes. Because the image is cool. We've determined what is cool, and that is cool, and everybody wants to be cool. And so...
But I do think that you have a strong point with those who market the image and those who profit off the image, by and large, aren't Blacks.
No.
And that's something to consider too, that we have this image that's being pushed on us that really is antithetical to the entire Black culture and the historic Black culture. This one image is slowly, or actually swiftly, turning the tide of the culture.
It really is, and it has had a major effect. It lives on because we allow it to, like I said, I just want the prominent voices like a Deion Sanders to say, we're not having it here. Because they would speak out against it, right? He would tell his kids, don't go out here and do this. His players, hey, don't go out here and do this. Don't go. But then he would bring those same images and guys in, it's just.
I wonder what it was, because to a degree he must care about something about the Black image, because he was like, we got to do better. We got to, let me buy the uniforms. So there's something to presentation that he can see as being acceptable, but there's a incongruency between the other parts of the image and what they represent.
Yeah. And largely because, number one, it's not coming from a biblical worldview, right? It's coming from a worldview of Blackness, right? What do we deem as Blackness? And the overwhelmingly, I believe, majority, to a degree, view this image and this entertainment as a part of Blackness, right? If you don't embrace this stuff, you ain't Black. If you listen to this other music, or you do this other, like, that ain't Black. This is Black, right? And so,
but we're being sold our image from people who ain't even Black.
Exactly.
One of the things that we talk about at the Center for Biblical Unity is this distinction between our Christian identity and just our creation identity, like our identity. Who are we just as people? Separated from Christ, we are debased in our thinking. We are separated from God. We are depraved. We are sinners. We are without hope in the world and all of that. But then when we come into Christ, there should be just such a stark shift about the hope that we have, the way that we speak to one another, the music that we listen to. The scriptures don't say don't listen to rap music, but it does say that we should speak to one another in songs, psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, and like things that edify one another and are glorifying to God and things like that. And I know that Dion is serving or working in an element that is infiltrated by Black culture, but I do think that he can be a light in the dark area that he might serve in. And so I think you bring up a lot of good points, Kevin, of, if we are wanting to change the narrative, we're going to have to risk being a light in a dark space and taking the heat that can come with that.
Yeah. And I do want to give Dion some credit, because so people understand, Dion cares a lot about young Black men. Mm-hmm. He really does. He loves coaching these young guys. He likes molding and shaping them. But it's one of those, it's almost like that youth pastor that thinks he has to be relevant and cool. So he has to bring in the cool thing because that's what the kids like, right? Mm-hmm. And it's almost somewhat of that, without even realizing that you're kind of undercutting your own message to them.